Welcome to the Callahan Brothers Razorback cast, featuring Tyler Callahan and his brother, Preston Callahan. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Callahan Brothers Razorback cast. We're kicking off the 2021 football season. It's been a long off season. Hope you guys all stayed safe with all the COVID mess that's been going on, and just looking forward to another football season. Looking forward to maybe packing out Razorback Stadium and another fun and exciting season ahead.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time, it seems. I think the last game we recorded last year, or the last podcast we did, was before the A&M game. Is that right?
That seems right. Yeah.
I believe that's the game we went and watched. Yeah, we went and watched that game, and then unfortunately, we got a little frustrated and kind of stopped. And we're kind of shitty for that, but it happens. But yeah, we're excited for this season. It's Pittman's second season. We got a lot of things going for us. We got a lot of questions. But man, we're getting close. We got 40-something days now, I think. Something like that. It's getting close.
Yeah, man, we're super close, and it's exciting, dude. I mean, we had the SEC Media Days this week, and of course they're starting to get into fall practice and everything. But definitely, like I said, we had the SEC Media Days, and it was just nice to finally see Pittman in that situation. And he had quite a bit of good things to say. So what did you take from some of the things that he had to say there?
Man, I think the main thing that I took from it, and probably what most people took from it, he didn't really come out and tell us a bunch of things, or just fill our heads full of stuff that we wanted to hear. He was really just honest with us. He came out and told us, basically how he felt. That he didn't say, "Oh, we're going to be really good. We're going to win this many games." He said, "Honestly, I don't know how many games we're going to win, but I know we're working hard." So, that really tells you a lot right there. Most coaches, especially in his situation, second season, coming off a 3-7 season, would probably be preaching to everybody how improved they are and how the season's going to be a lot better. And Sam's not really like that. He's just he just tells you how it is. He's not going to get up there and tell you what you want to hear. He's going to tell you how he feels. And I think a lot of people respect that, and I know I definitely do. And he did say that they were getting better and things like that. But what I'm saying is he didn't come out and tell us. That's not all he was talking about. He was just telling us how it was. And I really appreciate somebody that's like that and doesn't just come out and try to get you to buy in, basically. And he talked about how he got hired, and he said, maybe he wasn't the most qualified, but he thinks one of the main reasons that he got hired was because of his passion for Arkansas football, and he loves being here. And I think Yurachek understood that. I think the fans understand that. I think the players have bought into that. And, I think Morgan even said in his interview how, Sam's not a guy that comes in and tells us how everything should be or how he doesn't necessarily have all the answers all the time. And he'll tell you, he's learning with you. This is only his second season as a head coach, so it's not like he's been in this situation for a really long time. So obviously he's still learning. And Morgan said the players respect that. So I think those are the main takeaways from my end. Just a really respectable guy, and man, I look forward to the season. I don't know what it's going to look like. I have questions of my own about the quarterback situation. Obviously, the O-line. There's a few things. Our D-line. There's a lot of questions, and I know that we'll figure that out. I think we're going to be improved. Obviously, we've had some people come in on the O-line, quarterback situation. I don't really know what's going on there, but it looks like they've got a for sure starter for now. But man, we'll see. But I'm excited. I'm excited to find out.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. Like you said, it was nice to see Pittman and in that situation, kind of getting to represent the team and talk about just everything from top to bottom. That essentially that for the most part that there's no such thing as a starter. That everyone is competing for their job, and I kind of like that because regardless of who they may have their depth chart, who they think is going to be the number one guy, position A or position whatever, safety, quarterback, you can go down the list. But the thing that I like is that he's basically saying that, like, I want you to compete. I want you to show me that you're going to work your tail off, and that, that it's going to be nose to the grindstone and blue collar, and we're going to work hard. And that's what you like to hear, I mean, of course he wants to win. If he didn't want to win, he wouldn't be a football coach. But his goal is for them to work as hard as they can every day, whether it be on the practice field, in the classroom, in a game, that their mindset's always going to be, we're going to outwork you. And you got to respect that, and honestly, looking ahead to the season, we have a lot of guys coming back, I can't remember, he said something like 23 starters. That can't be right because there's only 22. 20 or something like that. 19 of 22 starters were coming back, which is massive. And then we have a couple super seniors, and this is going to be a good year for us to develop and grow, and build off of what we did last year, which honestly I couldn't have asked for much more. We were competitive again. In a lot of games, and we represented the Razorbacks in the SEC, represented Arkansas in the SEC just as good as we could have.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I lost track of thought. One thing, that he was also, or that I was also concerned with this season was losing Franks. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm questioning quarterback a little bit. We lost Franks, and that's a big loss. I mean, he was a really good quarterback, one of the best we've had in a while. And do we have somebody that can fill those shoes? I don't know. That's one of my biggest concerns going into this year is quarterback play. I know we've got a couple of guys that could potentially, take snaps, I guess, be a starter. But that's one thing that I'm definitely concerned about. Another thing I thought was kind of funny, in his at the media day, they're asking him about Treylon Burks. And how he was going to be this season. He was really good last year. Obviously, he's a freak athlete. All this, and what he expected of him this season. And he said that one thing that they've been preaching to Burks was that he needed to get in shape this offseason. That he needed to stop going out and hunting hogs and having fun, and that he needed to go get in shape. And that kind of surprised me, to be honest, because, from my perspective and probably a lot of people's perspective, he seemed to be in shape, I know he was a little thick, but I never really knew that maybe he had an issue with cardio or, just being in football shape. I never really knew that. And so, man, if you think... it's crazy to me that he could potentially be a lot better this year because he's in better shape. Like last year, he was, probably he was definitely one of the best wide receivers in the league, and you're telling me that he could be better this year, potentially faster, stronger, more athletic. That's pretty crazy. And then another thing that Pittman talked about was our running back situation and how we haven't really got a second a second string, I guess, running back to lock up that position. So there's still a battle going on there. And he basically talked like there was pretty much a battle going on everywhere. And I kind of think, maybe that's a good thing. Just, you never want to get too comfortable in your position. So, if somebody's trying to take your spot, which in every program, the second string, third string, fourth, whatever, their goal should be to start. So, they should always be trying to move up the line and take your spot. So, just having that hunger, and it's always going to make you better. So, a lot of people might think, well, he's like Chad Morris, and he doesn't know who the starter is yet. But, man, you always have that battle. There's always that second string guy that's coming for your spot. And there should always be a battle. So, that was just a couple more takeaways from what he said. I actually didn't get a chance to watch Cunningham's interviews. Did you, by chance, did you get to listen to those?
No, I didn't. I saw that they both, were pretty high on Pittman, but as far as actually getting to sit down and just listen to what he said, I haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Right. I didn't listen to all of Grant Morgan's either. I'm gonna be honest. It's just kind of a bad time, man. You with kids and everything, you try to you listen to as much as you can and analyze it as fast as you can, and then the 3, 5, 10 minutes that you get, you just roll with it and going from there. So, but yeah, man.
Yeah.
So just let's just do this just to have fun. I know it's extremely early. We still got I don't know how long, but I want before the season wins and losses. Right now, just give me your thoughts.
I'm gonna go down the schedule, and give you what I think of. Obviously we start off with Rice, and that's a tough team from what Pittman said. But of course he's gonna give credit to him. I think that's obviously a win. And then week 2 we got Texas and Fayetteville, and I had listened to Steve Sarkisian, who was Alabama's offensive coordinator and just moved to Texas, their head coach, and they kind of asked him what his outlook on the season was and what their wins and losses were going to be, and he told them that you can't make a big transformation in 10 seconds. So it sounds to me like that they're going to have to do it the hard way and recruit their way out and create a new atmosphere in that locker room. So I really think we're going to get that win too, and which would be huge. And then week 3 we got Georgia Southern, who they're in the Sun Belt Conference. There they usually run the ball pretty well, but I think Barry Odom's going to shut that down. I think that's going to be a big win for us. So we're going to start 3-0. Then we're going to have A&M and Fayetteville, and I don't know how A&M's quarterback play is going to be, so I'm going to say that's a toss-up, but I know how good A&M actually is, or at least how good they were last year. So for the sake of being realistic, I'm going to go ahead and knock that down as a loss. Although I do want to note that there is a possibility for a win. Then we're going to head to Georgia, and I don't see us winning that football game either. The next week we got Ole Miss at home, actually on the road. I think we can get a win there. I think we can beat Auburn. I think we're going to beat University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. I think we're going to beat Mississippi State. We go at LSU. I think we get that win too. Then we got Alabama at home. I think we're going to take that as a loss, and then we got Missouri coming into town, and I really think we get that win too. And I know that I just basically said we're going, anywhere from what did I say, like 8-4 to 9-3. There's a couple games.
1, 2,
3 games, huh?
You had us losing 3 games.
I think it can happen. I really believe that.
Yeah,
So
you have us
I don't
going
see any reason why we could
9-3.
I don't know. I mean,
is that right? 9-3.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we go 7-5 this year. I'll just put it at that. I wouldn't be surprised.
See,
I couldn't tell you which games that we're specifically going to win right now, because you never know till season starts. One of these teams can come out and you'd be like, "Holy cow! I didn't realize they were going to be that good this year."
Right, man. I think I'm kind of right there with you. 7-5 maybe. I think, we go out first game and we beat Rice. Texas is really that game where it kind of decides our season, I feel like. And not necessarily because it tells us how good we are, but more because of how it's going to affect the players. So, I think we're going to win that game. If we don't, then I feel like it completely throws all this off. So I'm going to say we start 3-0. We beat Rice, Texas, Georgia Southern, and then we lose to A&M at home. And we go to Georgia and lose. I feel like we beat Ole Miss at Ole Miss. Then I feel like we turn around and lose to Auburn at home. Then I feel like we're going to beat University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, obviously. I think we're going to lose to Mississippi State, lose to LSU, lose to Alabama, and beat Missouri. Now, one game that I'm kind of on the fence about is Mississippi State, too. I feel like that's winnable, but I don't know. And obviously, Auburn's winnable, too. So I got us going 3, lose, 3-2, 4-2, 4-3, 5, 1, 2. 5, so 7-5, yeah. So that's about where I'm at. It's 7-5, and a lot of that could change really fast. Like, let's say we lose to Texas, then man, I feel like we might be a 4 or 5 win team instead of a 7 win team. But that's how I think. It's all really going to depend on whenever we freaking September 4th. Rice comes to Fayetteville at 1 o'clock. We're going to see what's going to happen. We're going to know a lot more September 4th than we know now. And man, I'm excited. I'm still hurt over freaking baseball. Ridiculous. We always get our hopes up, and then something always happens, it feels like, with Arkansas sports. But I feel like we're trending in the right direction for sure. So, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get back. Sorry, I'm ready to get back into the stadium, man. I'm going to some football games this year. Like I'm making my appearance.
Absolutely. We had this week. I posted in our Facebook group, which is Arkansas Razorback Sports Talk. For those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do, I'd appreciate. Any kind of interaction, shout outs, whatever you guys want to do, we're here for it. We're doing this as fans, you guys. We don't make any money off of this. This is a hobby. We do it for fun. We hope you guys enjoy listening to us. Just spread the word, spread the love, whatever you guys want. We ask us any questions anytime, and we'll try to get you in. But my good friend he's actually from our hometown here in Mountain View. His name's Bob Ellis. He's hit us up with 3 questions here. And I'll start off with just the first one. Who's the best option at quarterback and why? And for me, I really believe it. It's KJ. Malik Hornsby is talented. He's quick. He's got really quick feet, and I really feel like he's best in the read option game. But overall, KJ's a big-bodied guy. He's just one of those. He's a tough quarterback. He's got a really good arm, and I really feel like Kendall Briles is really going to get to use his offense this year. Now, don't get me wrong, I really liked Felipe Franks, but I think that Felipe Franks didn't really fit the style that Kendall Briles had. I think Felipe Franks and Kendall Briles had to draw up an offense that fit both of their styles well, which is that's not a problem. That's what you got to do to win. You have to do what your quarterback can do best. But really feel like we're going to see a different offense with KJ Jefferson, and I really feel like Kendall Briles is gonna create an offense that a guy like KJ Jefferson can thrive in.
Right, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I felt like this from like the beginning of KJ. I'm just like, I'm still on the fence about it, man. I mean, like, yeah, he's shown that, he's, I wouldn't say reliable. I don't know. This is what got me with him. I feel like he doesn't always try as hard as he can, and I feel like he's not smart enough to make the right decision most of the time. And I don't know what made me come to that conclusion, but like when I watch him, I just don't feel like I'm watching a quarterback that can lead us to a bowl game. And here's the thing. He's not Felipe Franks. I mean, and those are big shoes to fill. But I don't know. I'm just on the fence about it, man. And also, I don't know much about Hornsby either. So, like, how can I say that Hornsby's the better option? Like, we haven't seen Hornsby do much at all. So it's really hard to tell. So, go ahead.
I just want to say, if we go back and look at the Missouri game, which a lot of people don't remember very well how it turned out. They just remember that we didn't win, and it was a high-scoring affair. But KJ Jefferson he completed 18 of 33 passes, which his completion rate was not great in that game. He threw for 274 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he also ran for 32 yards and a touchdown. And if you look, we lost that game because we got outscored in the fourth quarter 27-15. Because you go into that fourth quarter and it was, 33-23. We were up 10 going into the fourth quarter, and they scored 27 points.
Yeah, I mean, and I remember that game, and his numbers look decent. Obviously, like you said, completion percentage is not quite where it should be. And 13, he averaged 2.5 yards a carry, but he is a quarterback. But man, I just remember watching that game and feeling like we didn't actually have a leader out there. But in his defense, he hadn't been playing quarterback all season. So,
right.
It's
right. So
it's hard to tell from
you
can't really tell. Like had he played, the first whatever, I don't remember what was that that was our last game, right?
Mm-hmm. No, we played Alabama at the end of the year.
Yeah, so okay, my point is, sorry, I don't even know when we played them. That's how off I am right now. That Franks had played every game before that. So it's hard to judge what KJ. It's just I don't know. I just like I said, I don't feel when I watch KJ play, I feel like he's like a second option. Like he's just out there because Franks is hurt or because I don't know. I just don't feel like that's the guy that can lead our team to a bowl game. I really don't. And maybe that'll change. Like maybe I'll watch him play Ross and I'm like, okay, he's the real deal now. And I'm sure he's got 2 years of Browse now and 2 years of Pittman. I mean, he should know the offense after two seasons, and he's been taking reps at the starting position. So he should have everything he needs by now. They've got to build the offense around what he's good at rather than what Franks is good at. So we'll see. It's a new season, man, and I hate to be down on the guy, but I haven't seen what I wanted to see yet. But maybe that's coming.
Right. Okay, so question number 2 from him. Is it true Woods transferred because he has no confidence in Arkansas's quarterbacks? Man, I don't know why Woods transferred. I don't know. Honestly, I read a lot about it. I read a lot into it, and from what I can understand, I think that Trey Knox had a really good spring. He was committed. He worked his tail off. And he started getting more reps, and Mike Woods wants to be the guy. Mike Woods wanted to be the guy. And, he's just, I don't know. We got Burks, we got Knox, we got TJ Hammonds is coming back, Davion Warren's coming back. I mean, we've got a lot of depth, Rocket Sanders is going to get some time. Keytron Jackson, he's a good freshman that came out. As far as our wide receivers go, it's really deep, really, really deep. Looking at the roster now, from top to bottom, that seems like one of those position groups where we're going to get a lot of rotation. That the guy should always be fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really liked Woods. I feel like he was one of those guys that was maybe a little bit underrated. I think when most people thought of Arkansas wide receiver, I guess, in this situation, they probably thought of Burks. That was, the big one that everybody knew they had to pay attention to. We tried to get the ball to him in multiple ways all the time. And I feel like towards the middle of the season, Woods kind of came on, and I was really, I don't want to say attracted because it sounds kind of weird, but I like the way he played. I don't know. It sucks to lose a guy like that. No, I don't think it's because he didn't have confidence in our quarterbacks. Maybe it was something that we don't even know. Maybe it was a personal decision because of his grandpa. There's no telling, honestly.
Right.
I don't think it had anything to do with our quarterbacks. And like you said, I feel like at wide receiver position, we've got freaking, 15 wide receivers or something. So yeah, and I heard, I've heard that too, that Knox had a good offseason, and like you said, we got Warren and Jackson, and you still got Burks, and you got all these guys and Woods is thinking, maybe I go somewhere and be the star instead of sharing reps with 6-7 different wide receivers. So you never know. I think it sucks to ponder on things like that because you more likely than not we're not right on why he left. We don't know why. So it's just one of those things.
The third question that we got from Bob is, will the Hogs beat Texas? And like I said earlier, I think that Sarkisian he's stepping into a toughest situation. I think that Texas has struggled. I think that their locker room needs help. Tom Herman, he was coming from Houston. He had Houston ranked in the top 10. He stepped into Texas and struggled. So it's a tough situation he's stepping into there. And I just really think the momentum is really rolling for Arkansas. It's going to be the second game of the year for the Razorbacks. And let's see here. Who does Texas play? First, they play Louisiana Lafayette, which is that first, and that's who they play, Louisiana Lafayette, and that's no slouch, honestly. So, I think that we can. Honestly, I really think that if that they really stand a chance to lose Louisiana Lafayette, and they may come into Arkansas off of that with their. Just who knows where their heads are going to be at. I don't know. I really think that we're going to win that football game, and I don't want to be the kind of guy that says handily, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get up by 3 or 4 touchdowns in that one. I just think Texas has got a long way to go.
Right. The thing about that game is it's like I feel like that really determines our season, like I said earlier. It's one of those games, it's the start of the year. It's a big game, a big non-conference game. And I feel like it really could influence our players in the right way or the wrong way. That's one of those games where I'm pretty sure, it's prime time, right? Like, it's a big game in Fayetteville. Everybody's going to be watching. Old rivalry. How it goes really is going to say a lot about how our season goes, I feel like. And I really feel like we're going to win that game. And I really hope we win that game. I mean, obviously, I hope we go 12-0. But, I feel like I don't agree that we're going to blow them out, or we could potentially blow them out, or it could be. I feel like it's going to be a really, really tough game. But man, we're about to see. I don't know. It's exciting that we're finally getting the chance to talk about this stuff. Like, I remember last football season at the end of the year, I was like, Jesus, we got to wait another freaking 10 months or whatever it was, 9 months. To watch another football game or to talk about this stuff again. It's just miserable. Like, it's a long time. I don't know I'm sure a lot of you know, like, when your wife gets pregnant, it's a long time before she has the baby. That's how I felt waiting this off season for football season to start again. Like, but then again, it creeps up on you pretty fast. So, man, I'm excited. There's a lot of ways this season could go. And honestly, more than anything, I want this season to go well for the sake of Sam Pittman. And I don't know if you feel that way, but I feel like that's, like, obviously us as fans want to have something enjoyable to watch and brag about and talk about and tell our friends that we beat Texas and that we're better than Ole Miss and all these things. But in all reality, like, I want us to have a good season because of those things, but also because I feel like Pittman deserves it.
Right. I think these players deserve it. They put in all this hard work all off season and everything.
Absolutely.
Another question we got was, how are the running backs? We still have, Traylon Smith, which he was a stud last year and spelling Rakeem Boyd and even became the starter, but honestly, our running backs, it seems like, we got Smith, then Rocket Sanders, Raheem Sanders, they transferred him over from a receiver to a running back. AJ Green, he's a balanced running back from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's a guy that I expect to get a couple of reps this year, probably not a whole lot, but he's a good balanced running back. And then, of course, T.J. Hammonds, I'm sure he's going to get some carries. But the guy that I look for us to see quite a bit of to spell Traylon Smith is Dominique Johnson. I don't know if you watched the spring game, but that dude, he's a 6'1", 240-pound running back, and he's hard to bring down, and he's the type of guy that you really enjoy watching because he just sheds defenders. It's really hard to take that guy down, and so I look forward to seeing him run the football for us this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like last season we're going to see a lot of Smith. Obviously, I really like the way Smith runs. Last season, I felt like Smith was the better running back last season from the get go. And he finally started taking over that position. But yeah, man. Also, do you really like? I don't feel like T.J. Hammonds is really a running back. I feel like he's one of like. I don't know that he's. Every time he gets the ball, man, I'm scared. Like, is he gonna run 20 yards backwards? Is he gonna, drop the ball? Or, man, TJ scares me. Just being honest. Like, and the thing is like he's extremely athletic. So like, yeah, he's gonna break out and do some cool shit. But then he might drop the ball going in the end zone like Deshaun Jackson did. So you never know with him.
Yeah, I thought that too, but going late into the season, especially after Davion Warren went down, I mean that dude just made plays. It seemed like, and I'm trying to go back and just look at some of the things that he did, but I just know that late in the season last year, he made plays and big plays for us, and it really helped us out. He had 6 receptions for 52 yards against Missouri, and I'm not just going to sit here and go through and list all of them, but there were some games where he made some big plays, and I really think that we get him the ball. He's just got a lot of speed, and Davion Warren too. And I don't know, man. I feel like our offense is going to be like our offensive line. We didn't really lose anybody. They've gotten a lot bigger. Sam Pittman said that they've definitely gotten a lot bigger this offseason, and it's going to be more reminiscent of the kind of offensive line that Sam Pittman is well known for. And then, I mean, just all the weapons. I mean, you think of all the receivers we listed. You think of all the running backs that we have, and just it all comes down to, is KJ Jefferson what he can be, or is he really the guy? I mean, honestly, with all the weapons we have, it really comes down to how good is that guy.
Right, absolutely. And then I think that's the biggest question going into the season for a lot of people. We're going to find out soon. One thing that I kind of forgot to touch on, because I thought it was funny, I know that you've talked about this. Sam, whenever he was at SEC Media Days, whenever he was being interviewed, whatever you want to call it, he told everybody he made an 18 on his ACT, and I just thought it was kind of funny that he I don't know if he's being honest or not. I don't think anybody knows, but he was basically just making fun of himself, saying how he's not the smartest guy, and he's. I'm not gonna say he's not smart, because obviously he's intelligent and he's the head coach of the Razorbacks. But he's one of those guys that he doesn't always say the right things. He's not always proper. He doesn't, but he works hard, man, and that's kind of. They interviewed Grant Morgan afterwards, and Morgan even touched on it, saying, that's just how he is. Like, he's honest, and maybe he doesn't do everything right, and But he teaches these kids that they're going to be blue collar and they're going to play hard and they're going to make Arkansas proud. Because like he says, it's a proud damn state. And we don't have pro teams. We have Arkansas sports. That's what we watch. You know, some people watch ASU or whatever, but I mean the big guys in town are the Razorbacks, and that's what everybody's watching and everybody's excited to see. Like, that's our pro team. That's what every Saturday you can guarantee if you're an Arkansas fan, you're gonna be watching that game somehow. You're gonna be listening to it on the radio. You're gonna be out freaking tailgating at your house if you can't make it to the game because freaking COVID screwed everything up. Like, you know, we're proud to watch these guys play. Win or lose, we support them, you know, no matter what. I mean, like, and I think Pittman understands that. I don't think many coaches do understand that. Most coaches are here to get some money and move on or move up. And you know, I don't think Pittman's that guy. I think he said it, that this is his last coaching job. Whether he gets fired at the end of this year, or, you know, he goes and coaches here another 7-8 years or whatever it may be. I don't know how long he wants to coach. He's older, but, you know, I mean, who knows? But I just like that about the guy.
Right, yeah. I mean, he loves the state of Arkansas. He loves football, and you know, there's always, you know, I can't remember. I can't remember if I talked to you about this or who I talked to about this other day. But there's specific kind of leaders, and this refers back to the ACT thing. There's the guys that come in that are knowledgeable and well-organized. You know, there's the knowledgeable guy, the motivator. You know, there's all kinds of different leaders essentially. And what Sam Pittman is Sam Pittman is a genuine guy that's going to tell you not necessarily what you want to hear, but what you need to know. He's going to help you out any way he can, but he's going to go to work. And that's something that you have to appreciate about the guy. So, yeah, I'm super glad to have Pittman as a head coach. But we got one more question from Ethan Avey, and he asked what our thoughts were on OU and Texas potentially joining the SEC. So if you want to go ahead and start with that.
Man, honestly, I don't really care. I mean, I know people are like saying things about how it's going to affect all these things, and I don't know, man. Like, you can say it's going to affect recruiting, and maybe it does, but I mean, regardless, those guys are still recruiting the same players that we are, regardless of what conference they're in. You know, maybe I just don't really think it's going to affect that much. Like, if you want to come to Arkansas and you want to play for Sam Pittman and you like our facilities, which are top of the line, and all of these things, that's where you're going to go. It doesn't matter if freaking OU and Texas are in the SEC. If you like Arkansas and you want to be at Arkansas and you like our coaches, and our coaches convinced you that that's the best place for you, and we're winning games and all of these things that persuade players to come play for you, then why does it really matter? You know, like, I just don't see it affecting things the way that people think it's going to. There's a reason we brought Sam in. There's a reason we've had multiple head coaches the past so many years. And that's because they weren't getting the job done. Not because OU and Texas were stealing our recruits. I mean, yeah, they probably were, honestly, because we couldn't recruit. But what I'm saying is, if we have the right guys in Arkansas, the right guys to get the right players here, and the right coaches to teach our players to make us a freaking 10-win team again, you know, it doesn't matter who's in our conference. And that's how I feel about it.
I couldn't agree more. I think that the way I look at it is there's there's 14 teams right now in the SEC. So to sit there and say that Arkansas is going to suffer, like there's 13 other teams in the SEC are having to deal with this as well. I mean, regionally, yes, Oklahoma and Texas are closer to Arkansas. So I can see where people are coming from. Like, yeah, I mean, I understand your concerns, but I think they're foolish. And honestly, I said this on social media, on Twitter, on my Twitter account, on my personal Twitter account. By the way, we have a Twitter account for our podcast, which is at Callahan, if y'all want to check that out. But man, the way I feel about it is come get it. If y'all want some, come get it. Like, we're going to work hard. Every other team in the SEC is going to work hard, but y'all better be ready because y'all are going to finally find out what SEC football is about. Going through playing 8 games a year in the SEC is not easy, So, as Conor McGregor said, any one of you mouthy little fools can come get it. Come on. Bring him in. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. Another thing that I forgot to say about Pittman that I thought was, pretty clever of him saying was, what, when you bring these guys in and these players, and I'm probably not wording this exactly right, but the majority of what I'm saying, this is what he was saying anyways. You got to be able to communicate with these guys from the beginning because it's really hard if you're not, basically friends with these guys or on a level that you're comfortable talking to them about uncomfortable things already. Then when it comes time to tell them something that might make them feel uncomfortable, you're not going to be the right guy to do it. So that's, I think that Sam understands that and that I feel like he probably knows all of his players on a personal level and he is comfortable around all of his players telling them, whatever he needs to tell them. And I truly believe that.
It's almost like a father-son relationship, like he's got to be in that level where they're comfortable with him, like, because they probably talk to him about how their day's going and, how their family's doing and if they're going through relationship struggles or what classes or if they can't sleep well or, I can go on and on and on for days. If, they lost in the finals of some video game tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys have personal lives and Sam Pittman's probably interested in their personal lives and that's important.
Absolutely. Hey, another thing I'm excited about this year, to kind of touch on something else, is basketball, man. I feel like it's going to be a great season for basketball this year. I really love what Musselman's doing, what he did last year. Obviously, I think everybody's excited. Baseball's they're always good. Man, I feel like Arkansas sports in general are really all going the right way. Yurichek's doing a great job. It's a fun time to be an Arkansas fan, regardless of what we have to show for it right now, as far as mainly just football. Mainly football. We're kind of lacking a little bit. But
yeah,
I feel like we're getting there. And like I said, it's a exciting time to be a Razorback fan.
Right, absolutely. It is. I'm excited, and for all of it, I think that we're in great hands from in our athletic department right now, from top to bottom, and I really feel like that we've got lots to look forward to right now.
Absolutely. Well, man, it's been good to get back with this. I feel like we're going to start doing this more often. I think we're in a better situation now than we were last year as far as being able to put out content for people, and we kind of got off track a little bit, but we're back with it. We're going to try our best to stay with it. man, I appreciate all y'all guys listening. Hit us up on Twitter, at Callahan Cast. Facebook is Arkansas Razorback Sports Talk. But yeah, man, hit us up, talk to us, tell us something, ask us questions, tell us what you think, tell us we're wrong. I don't give a shit. Just tell us something. And y'all keep subscribe to us. We got a freaking website we haven't done crap with since last year. We need to start back on that. Like I said, man, we've been out of whack for a while.
Right.
Yeah,
it's been a busy year.
Absolutely.
But we appreciate you guys tuning in and spending some time with us. Like you said, check out our social media, Arkansas Razorback Sports Talk on Facebook, at Cass Callahan on Twitter. And y'all remember, we're always right.
That's right. We're right and y'all are wrong. Man, what is our freaking
Do what?
our website? What's the URL on our website? Like, I don't even
I think it's
remember
CallahanCast.com.
honestly. Yeah, I haven't
I wanna
been
say
on
it's
it, so
Callahan.
that's bad. That's not good. CallahanCast.com. Yeah, that's it. CallahanCast.com. That's our website. We're gonna start uploading some more material there too. Our last thing was from October 21st of 2020, so we're about 8 months behind. But hey.
Yeah, we'll start.
We'll
start
getting
putting
back
out
into it.
little
We're gonna keep
tidbits.
putting material out. We're getting back into it. We're gonna start. We're gonna be up freaking another hour or two editing this video to make us sound not so bad, you know. But man, we appreciate y'all. Y'all check us out. CallahanCast.com. At CallahanCast on Twitter. Arkansas Razorback Sports Talk on Facebook. Subscribe on Apple. I don't know, whatever you listen to, we're probably on it, I guess. Yeah, whatever you listen to, we're probably on there. I think we'll be on YouTube too, so whatever you need to get on to listen, just get on and listen. But we appreciate y'all, and yeah.